Hi there, it's Derek with Hudson Piano Studio. I hope you're having a great day. I want to talk to you a little bit today about what to do when your student is asking to quit piano. When I was growing up, I had two older brothers, and all three of us were required to take piano until we graduated from high school, no questions asked. And I took joyfully and I loved it, but my brothers took a little more begrudgingly because they were way more into sports. Now, that was my parents' approach. There was no quitting in our house, but that was their approach. It wasn't necessarily right or wrong. It's just what they did. So today I want to discuss the topic of what to do when your student wants to quit the piano. Every parent has a unique approach when it comes to their child's extracurricular activities. Some parents prefer for their kids to invest in one activity over an extended period of time, while other parents allow their child to move from one activity to another to see which one they like best. Some parents allow their kids to be in multiple activities at the same time, such as dance and ballet, soccer, baseball, and they're going to multiple practices and they're going to multiple games every week. It's very busy. Other parents choose for their child to focus on just one activity and invest in just that. So these are all different approaches for different families. So whether you've been investing as a family in a few months or many years, your family has chosen to invest into piano lessons. And with that comes the highs and lows of learning a new musical instrument. In my many years of teaching piano, I can honestly tell you that it's completely normal for kids to go through peaks and valleys in terms of their motivation on the piano. One of the wonderful things about learning an instrument is that it requires long term commitment. It's not an activity that you do short term, you gain an easily learned skill, and then move on. It requires months and years of stick withedness to get real results. The amazing part of this, however, is that the results are long lasting and life enriching. So, as children, they're not often exposed to these kinds of activities that require long term work. It's an experience that is unfortunately new to kids. It's easy to choose to quit piano because it's simply easier to not have to put effort into something. At kids' age, it's almost impossible for them to think long term about the fact that they may actually want to be able to play the piano later in life. Kids typically think right in the here and now, and it can be difficult to truly decipher exactly what it is that is causing their valley in motivation at any particular moment. Often, parents who choose to push through these low points are really relieved that in just a few short weeks or months down the road, when their child is back on top and loving music. Piano lessons are one of the only extracurricular activities that require children to take responsibility on their own at home. With most sports, you are simply required to show up and practice on a team, play on a team, and play the game. Piano is different in that it requires a sense of self discipline to continue learning at home, and it can be hard for kids to see the benefits of developing this self discipline, and there are many benefits to that. I can tell you with 100% honesty that I have never met someone who said, I'm sure glad my mom let me quit piano. In fact, I hear the opposite all the time. I teach multiple adults who wish they continued taking lessons as a kid and not given up. I appreciate every parent's effort not to make practicing a dreaded activity because music should ultimately be an expression of joy. My studio focuses on creating opportunities for piano to be as fun as it can possibly be. However, as with any learning of a new skill, there are times when what we're learning can be more difficult and harder to stick with. I'm a true believer in the idea that feelings of self esteem and confidence come from conquering difficulties and reaching goals. If we let children quit when things get tough, then they lose those opportunities to prove to themselves that they can do it, that they can work through it, and they can work through the obstacle and come out on the other side better than they were before. If we leave the decisions up to them in instances like this, their immaturity and their kidness takes over and they choose the easy route because it's what feels good to them in the moment. We as parents then don't know if they actually chose to stop for reasons that might otherwise be remedied, like it's the end of the school year and they're really just burned out and ready for the summer, or if they truly just don't want to take piano. We'll never know the answer to that question. If a child is repeatedly asking to quit lessons, an idea might be to set a goal together and tell them to give it their best effort for anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And if they still want to quit, that you can revisit the topic after that period of time. Another idea is that if a child is wanting to quit piano, then they must talk to their teacher directly about it, and that you, as the parent, will not serve as the middleman. This forces students to face their own choices and think through a valid reason for quitting that they have to convey to a teacher. This often helps kids know how to handle a difficult conversation, and it gives me as a teacher the platform to dig a little bit beneath the surface into what's really going on and further challenge them as that supportive voice in their lives to you as a parent. Involving children in music is something that I'm really passionate about because I've seen firsthand the social and the emotional and the academic benefits that playing the piano brings. These benefits are the main reason that I run my piano studio and started it in the first place. When I see a student with tons of potential who has loved their lessons for several months or years, it's really sad to see them turn away from that. And I love helping students get excited about the piano again in any way that I can. Thanks for listening. And if there's any way that I can help you as an individual family overcome this obstacle, be sure to reach out and be sure to follow Hudson Piano Studio on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And there's more great activities and ideas on there every week. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.